Hello, Internet, and welcome once again. Here we go, the free-to-play cast. It's episode 261, brought to you by MMOBomb.com, your home for all things free-to-play related. It's May 10th. You're watching it on the 11th or later. We've got news. We've got recaps and new news. We've got battle royales. Holy hell, battle royales. And I'll tell you what, we're going to talk about three specifically, and we're going to let each of us pick which one we want to talk about in particular. I got the order picked out, so get ready to find out which ones you gentlemen want to talk about. But first, let's introduce those gentlemen. This is Mr. Jason Winter. How are you?
Here's the one I'm going to talk about.
Fork knife. Fork knife.
Oh, yeah.
It's still
That's
one
the convenience of sitting right next to the kitchen here. We got a little kitchen area right over here. So yeah.
Great meme, great meme. If you guys didn't see it, wait, that was a text, right? Or somebody threw it up on Twitter, right? They were in
in the store.
They were in a
and
GameStop, and a mom came in and was looking for a game for her kids. Said she's been at multiple stores. She's looking for Fork Knife, and the person said, "Hey, I think you're looking for Fortnite." And the mother's reply was, "No, it's absolutely Fork Knife." To which the person the kid's name was Kevin that was being bought for. To which the lady just tweeted out, "Sorry, Kevin, I tried." So poor Kevin. Also, obviously, you can see him on the screen, Mr. Zach Sharps. What's up, sir?
Nothing much. Prepping for my move, so it's been a little hectic. But other than that, been good.
So you're moving. We may see you on a cast a week or two from now, and then that. Ladies and gentlemen, Zach's not going away, but the visits will be a little further and farther between because we'll have to work around a work schedule for him having a day job with his degree. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much.
No, I'm not buying it. He's going back into cold storage. We're going to thaw him out every month or so and bring him out for here.
So you'll still be doing free-to-play weekly. You'll still be doing the cast just a little less frequently. So don't worry, you Zach Sharp's non-human but instead robot leg fans. He will still very much be a part of the site.
On the bright side, because of the cryogenic freezing, he's going to keep doing these shows for the next 80 years.
Right. He'll eventually take over hosting when he's 147 and they bring in some young crews here. All right, let's get started with the damn news. Stop talking about Zach's legs. Good grief.
You were talking about my pictures.
That too. All right, so first we got some more rapid-fire news. Actually, I've been getting some emails that people like the rapid-fire approach more than... I'm sorry, I just can't, though. When we have a big story, it's probably going to dominate the cast. But when we can do it, we'll do rapid-fire rounds. So what are we talking about today? Let's throw it around to the team here. Speaking of Fork Knife, Jason, I'm going to let you start with this one because I really don't care about either of these two things, personally. Fortnite and a crossover with, obviously, Infinity Wars. As if we couldn't see the two biggest things on the planet right now colliding in some way. They're going to do it. They are doing it already.
Yeah, it's like when I was playing Lord of the Rings Online, we joked that, wouldn't it be neat if the One Ring was a thing you could actually find in the game? So
that might be a bit unbalanced.
Well, yeah, so would, the Infinity Gauntlet in a Battle Royale game, but, that's what they're doing. And I'm going to try not to spoil the movies or anything, but about Thanos, about the Infinity Gauntlet. It's really powerful, lets them affect the whole universe, and apparently you can get it in Fortnite now. And when you do that, you transform into Thanos, and... I think I've seen one little screenshot of like him dancing. You can make Thanos do a dance. So it's like, why not? It's probably bringing in the money. Why not?
Oh, right. Well, I mean, why not is the word, because bringing in the money, Zach, isn't something we even need to talk. The mobile version's pulling in what now? $50 million a month.
We saw over 2 months.
Over 2 months. Yeah. So that's $25 million a month for the mobile version. The last reports we had from a few months ago for the console PC versions had it at like 83 million. Some absurd number like that. We talked about that when they could afford to give everybody that played Paragon a total refund. Just mind-numbingly stupid dollars. What did you think about this crossover event, though? I mean, Zach, everybody's kind of hyping on jumping on the Marvel train right now.
Yeah, I mean, initially I think it was overpowered, and then they rolled out like a nerf for it. But he has like a like laser beams he could shoot or whatever, and he has like a ground slam. But he doesn't really seem that powerful. I mean, maybe he did before the nerf, but I was watching Ninja play literally right before we played the cast, and he had the Thanos glove and got second when he easily could have got first if he had a gun. So yeah,
So
Thanos
it is
doesn't
what
need a
it is.
gun. I watched the movie. He does not need a gun.
so
Laser beams.
you see, but here's the thing, though, Jason, and your One Ring example is dead on for me. I want that item to be ridiculously overpowered for what it is in the game. Then when you nerf it, because it's ridiculously overpowered in the game, I'm kind of like, why is it even there then at that point? This just doesn't do it for me, this type of crossover event. It's, hold the whole Superman versus Batman. Come on, guys. One's mortal, one isn't. I mean, one is mortal,
Also-
one isn't. The argument is over.
Also, to be honest, if it is
Well,
a
I guess
complete-
they're both technically mortal, but oh god, I just probably, the comments. I know he's not immortal, you know what I meant. Stop it.
No. Also, Zach, I haven't actually watched, but it is like the completed Infinity Gauntlet with all the stones in it, right?
I think so. I haven't watched the movie. I don't know Thanos, so
Well, I'm saying in the game, I think that's what it is. And again,
Yeah.
not to get into spoilers, but it's pretty clear that if you ever watch the movie and if he has the gauntlet, the completed gauntlet in the game, and there are 100 players in the game, I'll just say that you know what the next step ought to be. I'll leave it at that. Won't go into any more spoilers, but that's what it ought to be. I don't know.
The images I'm looking at seem to have all the gems.
Yeah, so, just there's a little math you can do there that would figure things out. but I'm
Not that
gonna
I
do it.
have any clue what the hell that means, because I
Yeah.
haven't seen the movie. So
Yeah, same here.
and I'm just not generally a comic book guy. There's very few comic
Am I
book.
the only one of these three geeks that have actually seen the movie?
I have not.
I think so.
Oh my god, you people.
I
I'm
don't.
not even
We've
into
had this
comics.
conversation. I don't see very many comic book movies because I wasn't big into comic books growing up. I had a couple
Neither was
issues
I.
of Batman.
It was
I
my
like
girlfriend's fault.
Batman. I was a Tales from the Crypt comic book guy. I still have #1 over there for that framed, but. Other than that, yeah, superheroes just never really did it for me, and so the movies, I couldn't care less. I don't think I've seen any in the theater. Even the Batman movies, the Christian Bale
Yeah.
ones, I love
Oh,
them.
no, those ones I like. The recent
I love
ones
them.
were-
I love them, but I didn't see them in the theater. I just, waited till
I
they
just-
came out.
There's too many Marvel movies, especially. I mean, they all flow kind of the same way, at
Yeah.
least from what I noticed. So
But I can't blame them. I mean, they are doing. The
Yeah.
Marvel ones in particular are doing very, very well.
oh yeah, they're
So-
making a killing.
Way to go, DC. I'm pretty sure you got to pick your game up a little bit. Because you ain't getting a crossover event right now.
Hey, they got really good TV though. I liked Flash. I've
But
stopped
they don't
watching Arrow though,
last.
so.
They don't last. Not all of them.
So.
I started watching. Never mind. We're just totally getting off topic. Never mind. Moving on, Jason. This one would have been near and dear to your heart a long time ago, and if you weren't a lifetime sub member through your press access years back with this game, but Star Trek Online. Kind of following in the path that we've seen. I think it's funny that now we're looking at a trend of subscriptions coming back, by the way. I think that's kind of funny. Rift Prime puts a subscription on and everybody's like, this is the best version of Rift ever. It's the original version of Rift. Sillies. We already had this. You said
Yep.
you didn't want it. You didn't play. Then you saw how bad free-to-play could be, I guess, when they added all those currencies and you were like,
Yeah.
I'll pay a sub. But Star Trek, going a little bit differently with this one. Star Trek Online is removing the monthly subscription option, but not just dumping everybody into free-to-play status. They're putting a one-time purchase item called the Elite Starter Pack on sale. It runs 1,500 Zen, and I know, by the way, for reasons that we will discuss later, that is, at any given time, approximately 13 to 15 USD. So, for that price, that you get 1 new character slot, 20 shared bank slots, 5 Captain Retrain tokens, an increase in your energy cap to 2 billion energy credits. And then once you have purchased that pack, you get a new option in the store, the Elite Starter Pack Reclaim. This can be claimed once per character. So the first ones were your account stuff. Now per character, you'll get 30 inventory slots, 60 bank slots, and 2 bridge officer slots. And no, you can't go above any existing caps for those things by buying those things. So you're still restricted by the game's ultimate caps on inventory slots and things like that. If you have a subscription now, you can still keep it, and you'll still get your bonus Zen. And you can pick that up and pick up the starter packs, but they do want you to know, again, you cannot go over any intended limits, so make sure you buy what you want. This also means the subscriber-only restriction from the Tribble test server is going to be removed, for now at least, while they check it out. Jason, I think it's interesting, kind of. You got a free-to-play game with an optional sub that is now removing that optional sub and going to a buy-to-play version, but you can still play the free version if you want. I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. Then I read through it, and I was like, no, it really isn't. It's just bizarre. It's just bizarre.
Okay, now, first of all, you guys have seen Star Trek, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, all right. I got to question all your geek cred right now, but okay, all right. But yeah.
Do we need to go back to I've never read a Harry Potter book again? Jesus.
Have you ever read a Star Trek book?
I have.
Okay, all right, good, all right. But yeah, I mean, just when we think we haven't seen it, there's nothing new to do with monetization, they do this.
It's bizarre.
And the other point that I kind of like feels a little nefarious almost, where you talk about how people who have a sub can keep their sub, but I assume that if they stop subbing for a month, it ends, right?
Yeah, I would assume so.
So it's like, so don't ever stop subbing. Or you'll lose all those wonderful benefits or whatever. But yeah, as I'm saying, it's like I'd have to compare exactly what the difference is between a sub and this package. Like, was a sub just like the 400 points or whatever you got every month, or I don't know if there's more to it than that.
I could be crossing up the hybrid models, but I could have swore there was like all the episodes included too, or was that?
I think those are free. I think I remember actually talking to them once, and those come along free as well.
Yeah,
so.
I had the same thought though, that like the old subscription, I could have swore had a lot more stuff in it than this new basically subscription, because it's a reoccurring starter box. So it's
not recurring, is it? It's a one-time purchase, right?
Not reoccurring, but you could reclaim it. So.
Well, no, the reclaim stuff is the character-specific stuff. They're calling it reclaim because it can be claimed once per character. The initial Elite Starter Pack is the stuff that's account-wide. Yeah. You get the character slot, the 20 shared bank slots, the 5 Captain Retrain tokens, and increase on energy cap to 2 billion. Then once you've bought that, you'll have an option in the store called the Elite Starter Pack Reclaim, and that can be grabbed on every single character to get the inventory slots, the bank slots, and the bridge slots, the bridge officer slots.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like a minor change. It's kind of weird, though. I mean, it's
bizarre, isn't it? I mean, it is to Jason. It's what will they think of next, as far as monetization goes. Is this gonna help anything? Maybe. I mean, maybe they'll get a couple of bucks from people that weren't subbing. That, hey, you know what? $15 for that stuff, that's worth it. I'll give you $15 and we'll call it a day.
Well, it's like with SWTOR and it's premium. You have the free to play, and then you have, I think it's called premium, and then you have the step up, which is subscription based. And a lot of people spend
veteran.
like $5 or whatever.
It veteran status?
Is it veteran? I think they've changed it around a lot in terms of verbiage. But yeah, you would spend a little bit on the cartel market to get an enhanced free to play model. And a lot of people bought into that, so maybe they'll buy into this. Who knows?
Jason, have you been playing this at all? Mr. Lifetime Sub?
No,
when was the last time? I wanted to ask you that. When's the last time you were in Star Trek?
2012.
Wow.
I can actually remember.
I was in the last year.
That was shortly after I went free to play, and they gave me that full-time account, and I played around with it for like 2 months or so, and just haven't gone back since.
Wow. Okay. And I was trying to look up the current conversion rate. I can't seem to find it. I think it was like, yeah.
I think you were about right that it's.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I am.
It's a rapid fire.
It's a little over. It's like $5,300 if you get the $50 pack. So it's like a little over 1 to 1. So yeah, it's gonna be about $15 for you. USD at any given point. It's just bizarre, but let us know what you think, and fine, we'll go faster here. You can talk about here. This is all you, Jason. Grinding Gear Games, bunch of shit going down, and you can talk about embargoed stuff since this will air tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a nice intro. There's a bunch of shit going down.
Yeah, there's a bunch of shit going down. It's just Grinding Gear Games and it's Path of Exile. Kill shit, pick up loot.
That's
Next
exactly,
news story.
that's exactly what I talk about in the preview that I do of Incursion League, which is the new thing that's going up on the website in like half an hour, so it'll be well past embargo date when you see this video. But yeah, one of the things they're doing is they are getting rid of the Bestiary League, which was their last league, which they only ever intended to be a temporary thing. And when I did the interview with Chris Wilson, 3 months ago to talk about it, he said that he knew that it had a lot of really unbalanced, maybe overpowered stuff in it. Didn't really think it was going to stick around permanently, even though it was cool. He'd like to bring it back.
And to be honest, it's had mixed reviews.
Yeah, I've seen. When I looked at the thread initially talking about it, I had like half of the responses were like, "Good, I'm glad it's going." And I had the half where, "Darn, I'm sad it's leaving." So yeah,
I think that's the definition of mixed reviews.
But yeah, and now for the next thing they're doing for the Incursion League, and this is again mentioned in the interview, he does talk about how he thinks Incursion League has a slightly better chance of sticking around.
Why?
Because it's not quite as imbalanced, it's not meant to be as crazy. I think it's got a lot more interesting gameplay than it doesn't have as much like new stuff that new mechanics that's adding, like all the beast capturing and so on and so forth, and the new crafting they had. It's a little simpler on some level. I even compared it with like Atlas of Worlds, where you go to a map, you'll find new stuff, you'll modify the map, and you'll try to get better stuff. It's kind of on that level. That's been around for a long time, so he thinks that it's a little better chance Incursion League can stick around too.
Interesting. When does this come out?
That comes out June 1st.
June 1st. So we'll have to do a little update on that one and see what we think of it. I do still play Path of Exile on and off. I play on the Xbox One though. It's just my chill and kick back game rather than doing it on PC. Zach, I'm going to give you the next one here because you generally spoke pretty positive about this game once a long time ago when it first came out. Loadout, if you don't remember, it was a little shooter, free-to-play shooter from Edge of Reality. And you were generally, didn't do anything grand, but you were generally pretty positive about it. But it's going to go away, huh?
Yeah, I remember liking it, but there was the whole GDPR thing that's going on in Europe. Basically, more regulations for your data, your consumer data that they collect. And so as a result, a lot of older games are having to redo how they collect data from you, which costs a good bit of money. And as a result, since there's already flat revenue for Loadout's devs, they're basically just going to close it. We saw the same thing with Ragnarok Online over in Europe as well. That had to shut down probably for the same reason, because they probably had a lot of collection of data.
It was that and all of Gravity Interactive's games.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. So it definitely is affecting the market over there for games that aren't super popular. I'm sure that games that are average popularity to very popular in terms of population probably won't have any issues complying with this. But it definitely will cost some money for each game to comply with this new regulations. So,
and while we're talking about games that Zach kind of liked that are shutting down, one little note for Chronicle.
Yeah, I was very sad about that.
I saw your tweet.
Also, I don't play it anymore, so I mean, it's kind of my fault.
Yeah, then you have only yourself to blame, Zach. So here's what I find is, first off, we should be clear that Ragnarok Online and Gravity Interactive, those shutdowns were exclusively Europe, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
They were exclusive Europe.
Where Loadout is EU and everywhere else. They're just shutting it down. And I think this has more to do with the money that they were making, Jason. Yeah. Maybe the GDPR put the squeeze on that, the straw that broke the camel's back situation. But I think all it probably did with the GDPR legislation was move up the inevitable.
I mean,
that's kind
we
of
saw them only having like 100 players on average according to Steam charts. So if your online game only has 100 players on at a time, You're
doing better than Lawbreakers.
That's true.
Zach, I want to give you ask you a question here from a business perspective. It's hard to. We had this conversation, Jason Q and I, in the background. It's with this the GDPR stuff and with the loot box stuff that may be rolling out in some European countries. I mean, this is legislation, neither of which that I can go and say, damn, those government's just getting involved in my games and needs to back off. I mean, these are kind of sensical, good pieces of legislation revolving around individual privacy and ownership of their data and how it's used and not having manipulative loot box mechanics. While I feel for Loadout and its developers, obviously, and we hope they all find work on other projects, it's hard to not, to cast that stone of the government shut them down. I kind of think these were good laws and good legislation.
I mean, if they had this much issue with just that little bit of expenses, I mean, it's not a little bit. Obviously, it'd be, thousands of dollars to probably recode certain things in order to comply. But it's one of those things where, okay, well, if you can't do that, then is your game really making enough money for it to exist anyhow? And I think with Loadout, they saw that with a little bit of a population taking just a piece of that pie away, causing them to shut down, it was probably on its deathbed to begin with at that point.
Yeah, I agree there. I don't want to shortchange the expense. I mean, this is a very costly change for some developers.
It has to do with a basic sort of net present value calculation,
and
where
I
your
totally
future
agree
cash
there.
flows over time
I totally agree
should make up for it if the project isn't that costly. So I don't think for a lot of games it would be that big of an issue.
And that's my whole point on, I don't think Loadout would have been surviving had this not passed. I think this just expedited and moved up the shutdown. I totally agree with you there. I just don't want to give the impression that this is a cheap change for companies to make. It is an expensive change. Can you survive the initial burst of the expense? To your point, that's the ultimate health of your product or your company.
Some of them, I'm surprised we haven't seen more of these notices.
Yeah,
there's a lot of tiny games out there.
We're going to.
How are those still going? So.
I think we're going to. I think we're going to see a lot of them just shut down with no notice. Some of these very smaller ones, the one-offs,
or the smaller ones are going to keep going if they hope they don't get noticed. We're complying with GDPR. Really, we are honest.
I mean, that, or if they are operating in North America, they could just close off the European servers, drop the region block, and they could be like, "Oh, well, EU players could play on NA." I mean,
that's what I kind of see Gravity doing. I kind of see region IPs going off of Ragnarok Online really soon. I could be wrong, and maybe they'll be a little above board and do their stuff there, but I would not be surprised. Let's say. I would not be surprised. Finally, in the rapid fire, Jason wanted to talk a little bit about how cute the mainstream media is. So I'll turn it over to you, sir, about Fortnite.
I just over the course of a week, I did this like last month even. I had like a top 5 weird Fortnite articles, and this time I was like, over the kind of like spent like 3 days, I saw 3 different articles about mainstream media just discovering, oh my God, you know what? There are free-to-play games out there that don't have timers. Did you know that?
Whoa!
Yeah, this guy was amazed by that. That was one guy I was amazed by. The other one had this great image of a I don't know, dude looks like, truthfully looks like he's about my age. A reporter type guy, mid-40s or something, watching some like 13-year-old kid playing Fortnite, and the reporter's just sitting there like studying.
Well, it is a complex beast, that fork knife.
I mean, all these mainstream media now are just discovering this. And, of course, the Avengers thing is probably going to make them even glom onto more. I've seen like 2 or 3 more this week where I've been like, oh, my God, they're just discovering this now and finding out how amazing it is. Yeah, the second guy, the one with the guy at the computer, he said that this one kid who was making $1,000 a month was, quote, one of the top Fortnite streamers. For $1,000 a month. Now, the last article said Ninja was making $500,000 a month streaming Fortnite, but $100,000 totally makes you one of the top guys. Sure. And then there was the Sun, which
I was going to say, of course, then all these types of stories invariably go to kids doing stupid things with parents' credit cards, with they're not doing their schoolwork, with violent tendencies, with frustration and breaking stuff. And every single one of these articles I read, with the exception possibly of some of the credit card related ones, because there are services now that, I mean, Jason, back in our day, we never would have had Dad's credit card for stuff like this. You know, Dad would have said no or done it himself. And then that was it. You know, you didn't see the credit card. I didn't see Dad's credit card. Are you out of your damn minds? But now there are some services, right? You know, and my kids have things like that too, right? They're different iPods and things like that. They're linked to mine or my wife's emails because they're young and we watch over them and what they're doing and what they're accessing and all that stuff. So I could very easily see those situations, Zach, where you put a credit card on file. Kid really doesn't know what's going on. He's just clicking buy, and it's letting him do it. If your kid's 17 doing that, he knows exactly what's going on, Mom.
Yep.
If he's 7, okay, fine. Honest mistake. Aside from that, when your kid's not doing their homework and not sleeping at night, it has nothing to do with the game. It's called bad parenting. That's just called awful parenting, Zach. There was what, Jason? The one lady in the story I just thought was absurd.
Which one was? Yeah. She says, one mom says she's forked over 1,400 pounds. I forgot to put in the pound sign. Okay, which is about $500 over the last 3 months. And another one says something like she had to buy a skin for her son. Had to buy it.
Had to buy it.
No other option.
Hey, Dad, can I have 14? Nope. Let my son come and ask me for $1,400.
Those young whippersnappers just need to go out and sell gold in accounts like I did back in the day. Jeez, so lazy.
You're talking about kids not doing their homework or staying up late playing Fortnite or whatever. If I did that when I was back in the day, it was because I was staying up watching MTV or something, or watching a movie. Or,
and I'm not saying we didn't do it,
you know?
right? But don't... As a parent, if you know the kid is staying up late and now the schoolwork starts to suffer, I don't give my oldest boy's 16. I don't give him a hard time for staying up till 1 or 2 in the morning with his friends. But when he comes home and his schoolwork is suffering because of that, then it's time for me to be the dad and say, you ain't staying up till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning anymore. You're going to be in bed by 11 o'clock for a little while till you bring those grades back up. Then I don't care how long you game. You want to act like an adult? I'll treat you like an adult. But when you start goofing off, I'm going to treat you like a dad, because guess what? I ain't your friend. I'm your dad.
This is exactly how the website works. My articles don't get enough hits. Mike is just on me. It's like, you were not staying up till 1 a.m. playing Fortnite.
Get off of Fortnite.
Get back on the website.
Get your clicks up.
I see the message on Steam right now. Jason, why are you still awake?
I shouldn't be Steam friends with him, yeah. See what I'm doing.
All right, moving on. Since we're talking about Fortnite, we asked the question last week, and we'll get to your replies about games adding Battle Royale modes or new Battle Royale games coming out. We got a few interesting ones this week that jumped on the BR train. So, Jason, we got 3. As the current senior member staff, I think if we totaled up all time, I have more time served with the website than you. But as far as current duration, you're here for a little longer than I've been, so you get first pick of which one of these 3 you want to reveal to the viewers.
You know, I'm actually thinking too. It was May 2013 when I came on, so I'm almost exactly on my 5-year anniversary. So,
congrats!
Party hats, whatever. But anyway,
all right. So if you're 5 years, I definitely beat you overall, but you're the current senior staff member.
Sure, continuous tenure, whatever.
Right.
I'll take the Trove one, since that's the one I just wrote up. All right, so yeah, Trove has Bomber Royale coming this summer. Bomber Royale. Yep,
what?
It's shockingly, it's you and a bunch of guys in a limited arena trying to kill each other on a time limit as the arena closes in. I know you could never predict that's what was going to
Whoa! Craziness. Wow, we totally just Bill and Tedded that one, Zach. Thank God the third movie's coming.
Being Trove, you know, it does have destructible terrain, so you can use that because you have bombs, you're going to blow stuff up, so you can hide and stuff, whatever. So it's got maybe almost a little bit of that Fortnite-y kind of feel to it in that sense. They didn't mention anything about building, though. They didn't say you could build, just that you could destroy. So maybe that's not in there, but yeah. Wow.
This one doesn't really surprise me all that much, Zach. Trove is kind of a game that just really, it just kind of grabs onto everything that's out there and throws a little bit of flavor into it. It doesn't really, to me, Trove doesn't have an identity of its own besides its look more than anything. It's just, hey, you know what? Whatever you guys want, we'll find a way to throw it in here, and if it works, we'll keep it, and if it doesn't, we don't. You got to respect that, I think, with this particular game.
Yeah, I mean, they hop on whatever train's going at the moment.
Yeah.
They hopped on the Minecraft train. They hop now on the BR train. I mean, business decision, make some money. So not a big deal.
So this one, when I read the press release, Jason, I was kind of like, what? And then when you're the one that actually pointed out to me, you're like, yeah, but it's Trove. They kind of just
Trove
just jump
take
on
itself
everything.
seriously.
They don't take themselves seriously. They just throw it in there. I was like, yeah, you're right. Zach, I'm gonna give you the decision here on whether you want door number 1 or door number 2.
I'm gonna go with door number 2, which is Battle Right. And Battle Right is, and obviously Dota 2 could be number 2 as well, but I'm gonna go.
Oh, wait a spoil, man! That's bullshit. That's bullshit. You spoiled mine too. You took yours and revealed mine. What a dick move.
I basically walked through door number 2. I was like, oh, there's door number 1. What's over there? But anyhow, Battle Right is getting a BR mode as well. It's basically just, I don't remember the exact number of people, but it's going to have multiple hero selection, a map that is much larger than the arena map, and that will be coming also this summer as well. Not really a specific date, but that's the window. I can't imagine it's going to take them that long to throw it, at least like in a test server or something like that. So not surprising, but every game that I wouldn't put at the top of the list for a BR mode's getting one, and every one that is at the top of my list that needs a BR mode is not getting one. So it's kind of bizarre.
I could definitely agree there. Some of these games were not, and Jason and the team behind the scenes, we have a running joke of our Battle Royale bingo card, and we're marking off the different game names, just waiting for them. I got to admit, these weren't games that were on the bingo card.
No.
But again, Battle Right already had like 80% of these mechanics in it, even down to the shrinking environment over time.
Yep.
So it's not a huge leap to see them adding some type of BR mode either, Jason.
No, not really.
The last one, though, I kind of question, and I hate both of you for giving me the MOBA. Neither of you could take the MOBA. Dota 2 is adding a Battle Royale-ish mode. Now, to be clear, they aren't calling it Battle Royale because that would be trend hopping.
Everyone knows Valve's original.
I'm going to read the description to you, and you tell me if this sounds Battle Royale. It's going to take place in the Underhollow, a new area. It's a monster-filled labyrinth in which 3-player squads will compete against each other until only one squad is left standing, and the labyrinth shrinks as gameplay goes on as cheese-fueled Roshan causes cave-ins. So it's not a cloud, it's cave-ins that make the map smaller for these 3-player squads to compete
Totally
until
different.
there's one team left. So do we start the countdown on League of Legends Battle Royale? Do we set that timer, or... This one bugs me because you're a MOBA. Go be a MOBA. Go be a MOBA. Really? Dota 2 is on such hard times that it had to jump on the BR bandwagon. Hey, you know what? Maybe Dota 2 people will love it, and who am I to say anything? I don't play MOBAs very much, so... This one...
I mean, their player base has been slightly declining, but they're still very, very popular.
Oh,
so.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Sure. But this one, I think, out of the 3 is the one that I go... That game did not need a MOBA. Or that game did not need a MOBA. Kind of does, actually. That game did not need a Battle Royale. The other 2, whatever. Finishing up before we go over to the weekly bombs here, we do want to keep you updated on the Daybreak stuff. We're not going to rehash everything. We gave you most of the story 2 weeks ago. Last week, we went through Jason's article and some of the information on why my article we held back and did not publish it. That still has not changed. To update you, I did hear back from some of the sources and tried to get quotes on the record and was unable to do so. a profile page on Columbus Novas for Mr. Jason Epstein was updated. That really all it was updated to show was that he did leave Columbus Nova in December of 2017, according to the updates they made, and the fact that he owns Daybreak. It didn't point out anything that our sources weren't already claiming. Could not verify that he had made the original purchase, such as some sources have claimed. And it got more interesting this week, Jason. So this happened, 2 days ago, right?
Yeah. And what's nice now is that I can do a Google search for Columbus Nova and pull up all sorts of mainstream media outlets reporting on them.
Mm-hmm.
So let me set this up for you, Zach, because you were making fun of me poking Jason saying, go write something. 2 nights ago, I was at my oldest son's junior band concert, the last one for the year. So we went to school to the auditorium. They're doing their whole thing, right? I have my phone shut off because I'm in the theater watching this. Afterwards, we're walking to a pizza shop, my family and I, to go grab some dinner. It's 8:30, 9 o'clock, 9:30, somewhere around there. We get to the pizza shop, and there's nobody there except the employees, 1 or 2 employees, and they have a TV on, and it has CNN on. And so I'm, ushering the kids up to go and order and everything. And I look up, and I see the CNN headline that says, Russian oligarch, and I can't hear it. I can just see the talking heads go. And it says, Russian oligarch allegedly supplied or paid $500,000 to Michael Cohen through U.S. subsidiaries. Or something to that effect. And I immediately see this and I go, no way.
No.
It doesn't have names of companies or names of people, but as soon as I saw the sentence, I said, the Russian oligarch is going to be Viktor Vekselberg. I just know it. And so I pop onto CNN on my phone and pull up an article that has all the details, and it's Viktor Vekselberg into Renova Group through Columbus Nova, and I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. And so I call Jason. Now it's like 10 o'clock Eastern, and I call Jason. I'm like, I am really sorry to call you, but are you watching the news at all? and apparently Jason had tweeted it to me a couple hours earlier because MMORPG, credit Bill Murphy over there, had already written up a piece on it. Now CNN and New York Times and everybody, they had already reported on this as well. So I said, Jason, can you please just get something up? Obviously put the disclaimers on it that Daybreak Game denies they were ever bought by Columbus Nova. They also deny that Columbus Nova is owned by Renova. How you would know that much about your not parent company, I don't know. So put the usual disclaimers on it and pump that news out there. And it just got worse over the next 48 hours, Jason, didn't it?
Yeah, because now we're also seeing, here's another article I've just seen that says, U.S. firm scrubs website distancing itself from Russian oligarch. So that's about Columbus Nova doing apparently even more to remove their supposed connection with Renova.
So they're pulling a Daybreak, or is Daybreak pulling a Nova?
No, Daybreak's not mentioned in the article. It's Nova.
No, as far as going and scrubbing their parent company.
Yeah, Daybreak distance from Columbus Nova, now Columbus Nova distances itself from Renova.
Right, that's what I'm saying. When Daybreak distanced himself from Columbus Nova, they did the scrub. Now Columbus Nova's doing a scrub from Renova. So I guess they'd be pulling a Daybreak, because Daybreak did it first.
Next, they're going to make a statement saying that they were never a subsidiary of Renova.
Oh, they've said that.
Oh, they've already said that.
Oh,
yeah, that's all.
Wow. Okay.
Our Daybreak sources have told us that, and Columbus Nova has now officially said that. Here's the goofy stuff, and we want to keep the politics out of this. I mean, obviously, politics plays a big part in this story. As far as the free-to-play cast and the website go, we're just looking at it from a Daybreak standpoint. And I got to say, Jason, my gut instinct that I told my sources directly when I said I'm not going to run this story, I still feel like they're right. I just don't feel like everybody at Daybreak is being told the truth. And I hope I am wrong. I hope I'm wrong and overly suspicious and it all works out great. I honestly hope that for Daybreak, its employees, and its products, some of which I love very much. I just don't see that being the case, Zach.
Yeah, 5.5 months.
You said 6 months 2 weeks ago, so now you're down to 5.5.
Yep, 5.5 months.
Honestly,
It's
at this
ticking.
point, I was skeptical of you when you said that, and now I think you might have been a little over optimistic that it would last that long.
No, I
something
think it will
happened
drag.
before
I
then.
think it will drag out long. It'll take them a bit to fully close in, and then
Yeah, save your thoughts on that for the question of the week, because I do want to get your guys' answer before we sign off on that one. But yeah, it's very weird, and it's just getting worse. Michael Cohen's now getting money, apparently, allegedly, on some of this, and some of it's been confirmed, but the reasons for it are being obfuscated or given as very bland, generic non-answers. Money from all over the place, but Daybreak, God, if you work for... The part that pisses me off about this type of stuff, Jason, is that it always ends up, even if super high up people end up going to jail for very long periods of time for things like money laundering or whatever. I mean, that's a big reason that I see is all this stuff is a nice way to launder money. Let's say the people that suffer are the regular employees. The person that showed up to work every day at Columbus Nova and handled his or her investment portfolio and made sure their clients were taken care of and then went home to their family. The Daybreak people that come in and love their job to work on EverQuest 2, and they do their thing, and, oh, we got bought by a firm? Great, let me go back to doing my work. And those are the people that pay, because not only do you, in most of these situations, end up losing your jobs, obviously, when companies like this may fold. Again, I'm not saying any of these companies in particular are going anywhere or may have any charges brought against them, so don't sue me. I'm not claiming any of that stuff.
this is an opinion cast.
Yeah, right. But Jason, not only do you end up losing your job here, but just your association carries a stigma then, even with other potential future employers in some of these cases. Oh, you were an investment guy over at Columbus Nova. Sorry, we're not hiring right now. In the game world, maybe not so much. You can, your average programmer or quality tester, okay, fine. But some of like the PR people, the higher up, you don't want the headline of so-and-so company is bringing over X Daybreak so-and-so if they got caught up in all of this. Again, they say they don't have to worry about that. They're not even ever owned by Columbus Nova. I just hate the damage to the little guy on this one.
Well, first of all, if you're one of the investment guys, I think you're going to be fine, because if you can make money somewhere else, someone will hire you. If you can bring in multi-million-dollar deals, they don't give a damn. So that part I don't think is an issue.
That's fair enough.
As long as you're not in leadership, that's all that really matters.
As long as you don't lead to the headline that I said for Daybreak.
I can agree with you on the PR people, because right now it might be a little tough for me to believe our source if they ever wind up somewhere else. But the general programmers, again, I think, like you said, they don't know. They don't know what's going on. The lead designer on EverQuest right now, or PlanetSide, doesn't know about any of this stuff. He's just doing his thing. If it goes badly, he'll find somewhere else probably. So. Yeah.
Let's slide over to the weekly bombs. We'll keep you updated about Daybreak. Again, Daybreak claiming none of this worries them at all. They've never been owned by Columbus Nova ever.
Sure.
My bomb this week is for Neverwinter on the PS4, which I've been having actually a lot of fun with. I also got to give Neverwinter on the PS4 an A-bomb, because there are some money tactics in there that, even though I knew about some of them from previous Neverwinter experience, I'm finding more out now that I'm level 70, now that I have a few campaigns to get boons under my belt. Yeah, like refinement stones. Yeah, you can farm them in-game, but damn, is it tempting to just buy those things off the Zen market. And those loot boxes, Jason, I now have 384 loot boxes. And because I'm a VIP, I get 1 key a day, but I'll play for a couple of hours and gain 35 more loot boxes. So right now, if I stopped picking up loot boxes, it would take me a little over a year of VIP status, logging in every day, because the keys don't stack. You got to log in and claim them to open the loot boxes I have. It's a bit heavy-handed. So A-bomb and dub-bomb. Go ahead, Zach.
Neverwinter points to the cash shop more than Daybreak points to the fact that they weren't owned by Columbus Nova. I'm gonna give a dub bomb to Funcom for Conan Exiles. They finally released it. I was very surprised. We live in the Twilight Zone right now. We had a survival game released. We have the whole Daybreak thing going on. We have BRs coming out for games that you wouldn't think they're coming out for. So yeah, it's a very interesting time. But Conan Exiles is really fun. It runs like a dream, over 100 FPS pretty much all the time. The game looks really good. The animations are so and so here and there, and it's a little quirky in some aspects. But overall, it's the best survival game I played in a long time, and that's not saying a whole lot, but it's pretty fun. I like it.
That's not saying a whole lot. Go ahead, Jason.
I'm gonna give an A bomb to the Circle of Life. Sadly, if you've been watching, the fish tank, which currently has no one in it because we're concerned about some of the health issues there, our lovely blue betta fish passed away last night, so you'll no longer see him swimming around in there. But goodbye.
Gonna get a new one at the new house?
Well, maybe that's up to the lady.
Fair enough. From the viewers, Koricon says, dub bomb to Maple Story 2 dropping that closed beta access. Yeah, it came out of nowhere, too. It's just like, hey, is this ever going to come west? Yeah, actually, beta signups, we're going into beta Friday. Despite failing to gain the much-needed traction in the East, which is concerning, given that it's Maple Story, right? It looks like a lot of people are having fun so far in the Western version. More MMOs need minigame-type features to fool around in. An A-bomb to Bank Holiday Mondays. Yes, A-bomb. How dare you let me have an extra day added onto my weekend and then make me go back to work? How is that fair? Who gave you the right? So Koricon, definitely a fan of the Friday Bank Holiday, not the Monday Bank Holiday. Go ahead, Jason.
XL Kobayashi says, dub bomb to Paladins and A bomb to Warframe.
Ooh.
You don't have to be hyped for the launch, but yeah, Paladins launched, like actual launch, not open beta or whatever, but it actually launched. You don't have to be hyped for the launch, but it's still important for games to actually launch. I and a lot of people I know refuse to spend a lot of time on anything that calls itself beta. It doesn't matter if the game is identical, if the label still matters. It's a matter of the devs saying that the game is considered high enough quality in their own words that they stand behind it. They're not hiding behind the doesn't matter, it's beta label. It's a shame that Warframe will probably never officially launch because that means me and my friends will never play it. And yes, when you first install the game, it still shows a beta agreement. So don't say the game isn't a beta just because they stopped saying beta on the website.
That's a fair point, Excel. I give you that. I didn't think that through when I said launch means nothing. Although I think the point that I was more making was that high-res's launches in particular don't excite me because of how long their betas are, not that it didn't matter. But I'll take the point. Fair point. Go ahead, Zach.
Breckner Catalan says, question for next time. Are there any more serious studios working on new non-MOBA Battle Royale games?
More serious studios working on non-MOBA Battle Royale games. Amazon Game Studio and, New World?
Yeah.
As opposed to the other game, which is a Battle Royale.
Bless Online, which has a press event tomorrow, which we expect will get Founders Pack news and maybe the ability to buy them.
I believe EA announced Anthem for Q4.
No, 2019.
Q1 2019. Okay.
2019.
Or like Q4.
Yeah.
Their fiscal 2018 is Q1 2019 and the rest, or something like that.
Yeah, I believe that was... where did they... Whoops. They just announced March 2019. That was that was like today, I think, or the day.
State of Decay 2.
State of Decay 2. Now, if you're talking about on the free-to-play world, nothing we can confirm nor deny. Moving on, Alan M00 A-bomb for Troy's 360p camera. Some of that may be Troy's camera. Also, remember, I'm screenshotting these two off of their Skype feeds, so you're seeing a little bit of a, a bounce through there anyway. Go ahead, Jason.
Cyberpunk Girl says, Troy's a great guy. Hey, keep up the good work.
Yeah, I put those in that particular order just so Troy wouldn't feel, but like he'd get his feelings hurt, but then he'd be like, yay.
Poor Troy.
Like when you go in for a review at work and they're like, Zach, you suck. And you're like, oh, and they're like, but you come on time, and you're like, thanks for noticing.
Yay.
Go ahead, Zach.
Harkness says, Dauntless closed beta started the 2nd. Don't think the open beta starts for a few more weeks. That's also coming for free-to-play people. Likely to have some people with shattered hope when they can't log in yet.
Yeah, I saw a couple comments. I don't know if it was me. It may have been, or one of the other hosts. It was probably me. I think, and I didn't watch the playback, but judging by a couple of comments, I maybe give the indication that open beta had already started, in which case I severely apologize. That's not till, what, May 24th? Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I think what you, or whoever said it probably meant was the update, the final, I think, update.
Right, with the wipe and everything.
Yep.
Yeah. I apologize if it was me and it got worded a little bit silly. Question of the week last week. What game do you think should implement a Battle Royale mode, and what would it look like? Battle Right's doing theirs, so how would you do your take on it? Deathlock says, question of the week. Defiance 2050 needs a Battle Royale game. Instead of having 100 players, I'd have 50 players with teams of 25. Players will have to battle against the enemies found in the regular mode also. Last 2 players on each team will duel each other using only melee weapons. Winner gets a choice of the highest tier weapon, mod, or shield in the game, while the other players get random weapons, mods, and shields. Losers only get XP. Maybe then people will actually PvP in the damn game. I kind of like your concept. I don't like that you put it in Defiance 2050.
Now that Trion's got one in Trove, you have to
Why
think
not?
looking at it.
Why not?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jason.
Kurikon says, Hearthstone Battle Royale. Stay with me here. You build the base deck to see you through the initial stages and then collect cards as you go along. Then during the late game, you realize that you've just been staring at your wallet and your library card isn't going to buy you more card packs. So you slap that credit card on your desk and buy until you reach a legend rank. I hear Blizzard are already considering my proposal.
Maybe a bit cynical, right up Jason's alley. Go ahead, Zach.
KO says World of Warcraft should implement Battle Royale. They even tested it. Read testing the waters during April Fools.
Whoa, to be clear, they teased it, not tested it.
Oh, my bad. I read that completely wrong then. Teased it. Read testing the waters during the April Fool's post. It was far too detailed for it to be just a joke. Someone thought about it, and I think it should be added because I enjoy playing WoW PvP. It sounded really fun. We had 20-man arena, which I won, and earned the title Lord of War. But with Battle Royale map, that would be far larger than a simple arena.
I put that one in there, Co's response, but to let everybody know, including you two gentlemen, there were a surprising number of World of Warcraft responses to this question.
I could see it work as a good battleground, yeah.
Mint Mango, and we'll have to see what Jason thinks of this one. Guild Wars 2 should have a fun Battle Royale mode where it could cycle through different maps with all the weapon hunting from the normal BRs. Imagine the contrast between fighting in a map like Silver Wastes to fighting in Sparkfly Fen.
They already have one. They have South Sea Survival, which is a minigame they've had since about 2013 or 2014. Which is a little limited thing where you do have to go around and find different weapons to throw at people and whatever, and so they actually have had a Battle Royale mode in the game for about 4 years.
Oh, dropping that knowledge. Go ahead, Jason.
James Esparza says, question of the week, the free-to-play cast should have a non-lethal Battle Royale. First of all, I like the idea, but I don't like the non-lethal part. My money's on Jason. I feel Zach could be a close second, and Mike is just a wild card. Zach doesn't have legs.
Yeah, I could change up. I could cause it all change up. And the way I thought about this morning was, all right, so Zach's got the age advantage, so we'll presumably, well, with bionic legs, we'll certainly give him the speed advantage. As far as size, I think Jason and I are bigger than Zach, so we've got that advantage. We'll throw weapons out because you just got to find them. That's going to take luck. Troy
has animal companions, though. She's got the cat and the
Q
bird,
has a lot of animal companions, so she's a contender you got to watch out for. Troy, I think if we scheduled this at the right time, he'd be a non-factor because we could schedule it like right after he's driven the buses for many hours, and he'll just be exhausted, non-factor, and we could just take him out there. So I think Zach, I'd give you good odds, but I also think it's like Andre the Giant versus Superfly Jimmy Snuka, right? Superfly's fast and can move around, but if Andre gets his hands on him, the fight's over.
I mean, I got like a 99 in speed in Madden, so I mean.
Oh well, never mind.
There's that.
All bets are off.
I'll basically be like the new Michael Vick for Madden. Be able to outrun everybody, and you'll have to nerf me. I mean,
Oh,
it
that's
is what
good
it
though.
is.
That means if he tries to aim anything at us, he'll miss.
Right. Well,
Vic would not be very happy about that comment.
oh my God, Jason, that was awesome. Oh, that was good, my friend. That was good. Go ahead, Zach.
RS Jabber says Blizzard will make a battle royale game for sure. Maybe Diablo 4 will be a battle royale with swords and axes all over the map in place of guns.
And you know what? When David Brevik comes out and slams that one, I'm going to be clicking like on it as many times as I can.
You know, there needs to be some sort of like medieval sword and axe kind of battle royale.
Boohell says, I was thinking for a battle royale game as League of Legends. Riot Games would have to make a new map that could support up to 30 to 50 players. Then 30 or 50 people would jump in, have to choose champions like Lux and so, and items that drop randomly around the map every 3 minutes. It'd be like Infinity Edge. They would give stats like they do normally do in 5v5. Well, I wouldn't be that surprised if LoL dropped this type of mode at some point now that Dota 2 has done it. Jason, finish it up.
Daniel Oppenlander says, I would love a battle royale of World of Warcraft. 2 maps. 1 Horde map, full Durotar. 2 map, Alliance, Westfall. No PvP rules, just pure BR. Go crazy in the map.
There we go.
Pretty basic. Yeah.
Our question of the week. Again, not that this is going to happen, not that we know it's going to happen, or we've even heard it's going to happen. This is purely us speculating that if for some reason Daybreak could not hold on to the EverQuest IP, who do you see picking it up? Who would you like to take over the EverQuest franchise, and why? I don't know if I want them to, Jason, but I could kind of see Amazon being a player here.
Because of the John Smedley connection, especially.
Well, not just John Smedley, just because they have the money and they just opened up the game studio. They don't necessarily... Like, I can't see Blizz taking them as much as... And if you want Blizz to take them, by all means, explain why. But I can't see... There's no benefit to Blizz also owning EverQuest. It's not like EverQuest and World of Warcraft are doing this anymore. They haven't for years.
It's not like EverQuest and anything is doing this anymore.
Right, that's fair. But my
even
feeling
Amazon is too small.
I don't know. I think Amazon might look at that and go, hey, we don't have anything released yet, by the way. What if, I don't know.
We wasted money on this.
Right. After that breakaway money. What do you guys think? Who do you think is going to pick up EverQuest? If it was for sale, if it disappeared, if the company disappeared, if it was auctioned, I don't know what's going to happen. Just saying, if Daybreak didn't have it anymore, who would you guys like to pick it up, Jason?
I don't care.
You don't care? Zach?
I really don't.
I mean, who would I like? I would love to see CG Projekt Red do an MMO. So I would love to see that, but that's extremely unlikely.
Yeah. And guys, when you answer this, don't worry about likely or unlikely. It's who do you want and
why. This is the thing. This is the point, though. We're going like, well, there's a really successful company, but I don't think they would take it. Well, why not?
Right?
It would take a long time. I mean, CD Projekt Red's taken a long time with Cyberpunk. I mean, I could see EA realistically picking it up if they wanted to do an MMO, since they're moving into the hybrid with Anthem. So
my thing is, I specifically target EverQuest here because I don't want EverQuest to go away. Right? I don't want that to no longer be a thing. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Leave your comments in the comments. Write some shit at the bottom of the screen here when you scroll down a little bit. Make sure you give a follow and a like and all that fun stuff, too. We appreciate it. But until next week, gang, Jason, where can everybody find you?
On Twitter at Winter Informal, streaming twitch.tv/Jason Winter.
Zach?
Eric, find me on Twitter at Zach Sharps.
I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me right there at magicman1. More importantly, follow at MMOBomb so you get right in your feed all the news articles, interviews, previews, and more. Until next week, gang, stay safe. We'll see you on the servers.